Hi everyone, welcome to Foodie Fridays. My name is Delano Hunter, Director of the DC Department of Parks and Recreation, and I'm here with Chef T from the DC Central Kitchen, and we'd like to welcome you to this amazing series, Foodie Fridays. Each month, Chef T is going to teach us how to cook healthy and nutritious meals using fruits and vegetables. What do we have in store today, Chef?
So for today, we're actually going to feature our collard greens, but we're going to do them in a healthy way. As opposed to how many folks are used to using a turkey neck or a turkey wing or a ham hock, we're going to show folks how to mimic those flavors without all that saturated fat, but without losing or sacrificing any flavor.
Sounds good. Can't wait to check it out.
All right, Director, you tell me. So we're about to start making these heart healthy greens. And I'm calling them heart healthy only because we're not using much pork, we're not using much of fat, or we are going to use some fat. We're not going to be using any fat that has saturated fat. So you tell me, how are you used to making your greens? Because I can tell that you're a cook. You like to cook.
Well, I just cooked some over the weekend, and I utilize a beef broth, and I seasoned it with turkey butts. And then also I used an array of seasonings, whatever was in the cabinet, to kind of give it some flavor.
Right?
Yeah, and I just cooked it and left them on for a couple hours.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the best parts of what you did and let's strip them down. So one of the first things when I teach folks how to prepare greens like this, they're like, why does it have so many vegetables in them? I'll explain. So we're going to start first with some water. It's in our pot, about a quart and a half. You notice the recipes are actually going to be listed on the screen for our participants, for folks who log in, but you and I are just going to cook. So we're going to add some onion to the pot. We're going to add some bell pepper to the pot. And there's a reason that I'm adding these vegetables. Believe it or not, a combination of vegetables that we add to broths, which is what we're making here, is actually called a mirepoix. We're not going to get fancy. That'll come in our other lessons. But right now, the mirepoix that we're using right now is onions, and we're using red and green bell pepper. To this, you said you add beef broth to yours?
That's right.
Okay. Well, we're going to add chicken. So as opposed to adding a broth, we're using chicken bouillon or chicken flavored salt is the way we like to look at it. Okay. So if you've ever been in the soup section at a store, you may have seen the bouillon up there. You may have seen chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, ham bouillon. I recommend that as opposed to using the turkey butts or the ham hock, because now it's meat flavored salt. So we're going to add a little bit of our chicken flavored salt, chicken bouillon to the pot. To that, another reason that folks like to use smoked turkey necks and ham hocks is because of the smoke. So what we're going to mimic in this dish, and the reason that folks like to add meat to this, is that smokiness, that saltiness, and that fat. We'll get to the fat later. So right now, we have a product that you can find in any condiment aisle called liquid smoke. There's a lot of different companies that make them. But as opposed to worrying about the smoke from the meat, we're just going to use the smoke in the bottle. So we're just going to add a touch. Once again, the exact amount is in the recipe. That was probably about 2 tablespoons. And now, since you're on that side, I'm going to ask you to hand me 2 other things. Hand me that oil and hand me the red pepper flakes. Thank you. So we said that one of the reasons you were adding those turkey butts, what's really in those turkey butts that you like? You tell me, why'd you have the turkey butts?
Well, just the flavor.
Flavor.
I just love the flavor first and foremost.
And usually, the turkey butt has a lot of fat in it.
That's right.
So let's add a little vegetable oil. Notice I didn't say olive oil. You can use some. But we'll talk in another series about the types of olive oil we should cook with. This is just regular vegetable oil that we're adding. I think the recipe calls for about a quarter of a cup. And also, just because everything tastes good with a little bit of spice in it, we're going to put a little red pepper flake in. Now we're going to bring this mixture to a boil. We're not even going to think about adding our greens until this simmers for at least 10 or 15 minutes, but most importantly, until it tastes like soup. So now that our broth has been simmering for about 10 or 15 minutes, and it tastes exactly like a great, wonderful soup, because that's the best part. Since we're going to be removing some animal product, we have to make certain that what we have right here, the base that we're starting with, tastes great. Now that it tastes like soup, the reason we had to bring that broth back up to a rolling boil is because our greens are instantly going to cool it down. We want to make certain that this returns back to a boil as quickly as possible. One wonderful thing, you might see this big bowl of collard greens. The beautiful thing about greens is they cook down. We're going to stir our greens while it boils. We get all of our greens in the pot. Oh, this is looking wonderful already. You can't taste the broth, but it tastes like a wonderful smoky chicken, soupy brothiness that we're putting our greens in. Look, all those greens successfully went into the pot. At this point, we are almost done. As we stir, our greens have all come back up to a boil. They have all successfully fit in our pot. We are going to cover our pot, and we are going to simmer our greens until they are tender. At that point, they're ready. So now our collard greens are done. All that's left now is to serve them up. One of the first things you'll notice are the colors. The second thing is the aroma. And the third thing will be the smiles. Again, thank you guys for joining us here on Foodie Fridays. I'm Chef T with DC Central Kitchen. Enjoy.
Great job, Chef T.
Thank you.
The food is just amazing. I don't know about you, but I'm inspired. I'm inspired to go home and cook. I'd like to now talk a bit about our partnership with DC Central Kitchen, because it doesn't just stop here. In fact, we're partnering with DC Central Kitchen to provide 750 bags per week of fresh fruits and vegetables at our various recreation centers across the city. And the best part about it, it's absolutely free to district residents. So for more information, log on to dprdc.gov to get your fresh bag of vegetables for free. I've also learned about an amazing initiative that DC Central Kitchen has called Healthy Corners.
Healthy Corners.
Chef T, tell us about it.
Healthy Corners is just what it says. DC Central Kitchen is able to provide fresh fruits and vegetables to some of our corner stores, or what other cities call bodegas, but that are in various food deserts where our community citizens are not able to have access to healthy fresh fruits and vegetables. We actually place them in the stores.
That's great. That's great. And it's important. I think over 60 locations, correct?
Over 60 locations. Some foods are in their natural state. Some are already processed, cut up pineapples, grapes, oranges, so that you have no barrier for enjoying fresh fruits and produce.
That's great. So as you can see, DC Central Kitchen has a major presence here in the District of Columbia, and we're proud as an agency to partner with them to do our part to add health and nutrition across all 8 wards of the District of Columbia.